when Demi Lovato is done with her treatment that she's getting right now, and she comes back to LA, she will not, it appears, be going back to the house where she overdosed.
Maybe she will, but only for a short time, probably.
Right.
Because she's selling it. She is selling that house that she overdosed in, and she's only owned it for a couple of years, and she's actually had a lot of problems with this house. It almost fell down that hill during a mudslide after the storms in LA. But that's the home where she almost died of an overdose a couple of months ago. And it's just, I guess, bad karma for her.
I would think
she listed it.
As she's, as she's getting treatment right now, and probably talking a lot about this, I would imagine it occurred to her as like, why would I want to go back to be in that house where something like that happened?
I get it too.
Yeah,
I totally get it. And so she's listed it. She bought the house for $8.3 million in 2016, selling it for about $9.5 million. So, I don't think it's so much about the money with her.
Right.
I think she just wants out. And that house has not been great for her. It is, it's where she slipped from sobriety and, almost died.
It's a beautiful home, too. I mean, 4-bed, 5-bath. And like we reported right after the overdose, she was clearing herself of a lot of bad influences as far as friends go. So like you said, you got to imagine every corner she turns in that home could be a new memory.
Speaking of one of those bad influences, Brandon Johnson, the guy who we spoke to and amazingly
told us about how he brought drugs over to her.
Yeah, and explained the whole night.
The night of the overdose.
Right. He is not going to be interviewed by police. He is not going to be investigated or prosecuted for anything involving Demi's overdose. And the reason that we're told from law enforcement sources that, this is...
Yeah, you know what, Charles? I spoke to somebody, and basically what they said is you have two consenting adults who are partying together, and it's a medical emergency is what it ends up being.
I kind of get it. At the end of the day. I mean, as horrible as it is, I do kind of get it, because remember, Demi is the one who texted this guy at 4 in the morning and said, can you basically come over here? And it was code for bring some stuff. And he brought over some pills.
Now, he insists that she knew the risks because they were, as he put it, aftermarket.
But he also denies that he knew there was fentanyl in the pills.
Yes.
That might have changed things, but he says, look, I didn't know. I was just giving her the pills, and I was doing them too, apparently. So,
and you know what's kind of interesting? I spoke to somebody this morning who said another thing, that he said, I gave them to her. I didn't sell them to her. So there's, that's another issue why this really can't go forward. It's not really a drug dealer.
He's not a drug dealer. Right, he brought pills over.
It's
actually very smart saying I gave it to her instead of saying I sold it to her.
Yeah, and the other thing, Dennis, is that you and I talked about this last week, is that the cops have trouble kind of treating a celebrity OD differently from everybody else.
Oh yeah, I mean, and these ODs happen 1,000 times a day everywhere, and they don't prosecute them. They don't have enough time or manpower to go after this and track them back.
And the problem would be, how would it look if they did something different? Because
now, the one thing that I remember is Kathy Evelyn Smith, who is the one who was doing heroin with John Belushi.
Yeah, but
at
Belushi died. That's why there was.
Yeah, but that's just bad luck. In other words, Demi could have died too. It's nothing that this guy did or didn't do. It's just Belushi died, and it wasn't Kathy Evelyn Smith's doing. It was just, that's the way it played out. And the same thing with Demi. It's just Brandon had better luck.
Was prosecuted?
She was prosecuted for manslaughter. Right. So, but, again, these are different times.
Hi, this is Dan Bartley from O'Fallon, Missouri, and I think Brandon Johnson needs to be tried for attempted murder. I mean, really, he knows what he's doing. He's giving her something that could potentially kill her. He's killing people for money, I mean, he needs to go to jail.
No, I mean, I certainly get the outrage. It's just attempted murder means an intent to kill, and that is going to be impossible to prove in a case like this.
Yes.